Over the past decade, several companies known as greenfields operators have sprung up, specialising in installing and operating telecommunication services to new housing estates. But now these companies fear being undercut by NBN Co, prompting one of them to accuse the federal government of creating a new monopoly which could send some of them to the wall.
Monopolies in telecommunications have never worked. They didn't work for Australia with Telstra. Nowhere else in the world has a monopoly been able to provide competitive prices or better services and innovation.
Michael Sparksman's company is employed by developers to build and provide broadband services to new housing estates around Australia.
We're primarily operators. We build networks because we want to operate them. Our revenues come from operations, not necessarily from building networks. But you have to build the networks in order to operate them.
Open Networks and other greenfields operators believe the federal government and NBN Co has started muscling in on their market.
NBN in mid-2010 changed when the Minister announced NBN Co would be the provider of last resort. And that means that the NBN Co, which is a taxpayer-funded government-owned enterprise, would provide all of the funds to deploy those networks. If the government was going to include in the greenfield market the provision of their networks for free, it would be very difficult for us to compete against the NBN Co with a very large purse.
At the end of last year, it seemed NBN Co was extending an olive branch to the greenfields operators to help plan the rollout.
The idea was to establish a panel of expert and experienced providers. We were invited to put our proposals forward, and NBN Co decided, for its own reasons, that it preferred to go with a single provider to build and operate the networks for it. I think it was a misleading of NBN Co to invite proposals and then decide that it would not proceed with the panel but engage subcontractors.
He's rejected government reassurances there would still be plenty of work for commercial operators despite the availability of a free rollout.
It is, in my view, completely impossible to sustain that argument if you fund NBN Co and provide them with almost unlimited capital. I think it'll force a consolidation as some of the operators primarily